Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, upsets in states as INEC declares winners of governorship election. Kano residents defy curfew imposed on state to celebrate NNPP electoral victory. 1 dies, 3 injured as soldiers police clash in Taraba. And on the foreign scene, South Africa arrests 87 before planned anti-government protest. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. Welcome. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the March 18th governorship election in Adamawa State inconclusive. The candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state, Aishatu Dahiru, famously known as Binani, scored 390,275, while the incumbent governor, Amadou Finitri, the People's Democratic Party PDP candidate, polled 421,524. However, INEC declared the election inconclusive due to the margin of votes.
This becomes the 2 million contestants. The result is therefore considered to be inconclusive. Thank you very much.
All the effort that Adamawa people have done, all the effort of the security agents, all the effort of the members of the press is being aborted by the election unfair. Elections were held in Adamawa on Saturday. Results were collated and all the results entered and all the mission press have been concluded. We want to tell Nigerians that the coalition officer, who we thought that is impartial, while all the cancellation were done because of overvoting, 9 out of 10 of all the units that have been cancelled were cancelled because it was overvoting. The Electoral Act says when there's an overvoting, that means you have not complied with the Electoral Act. For that reason, the election will be cancelled and it will not be repeated.
We now join Trust TV's Aaron Atayel, who is in Ola, for updates. Aaron, could you tell us what is the mood of the town at the moment? Voters must be disappointed. Hello, good evening to you, Aaron.
Well, thank you. As you are aware, Adamawa State have been one of the most peaceful states ever since this election started, because we have not witnessed so much violence in the state capital, and not just in the state capital, in other places, except for this 69 polling units that INEC declared them as, INEC cancelled these elections due to some certain reasons, most of which are attributed to violence. But so far, the state is currently calm. Although we have, yesterday we had a bit of unrest, but as we talk right now, ever since they announced the results inconclusive, there is still no tension in the state. Everywhere is still calm.
So with the calm situation now in Adamawa, can you tell us whether a date for supplementary elections has been fixed?
Well, so far currently we have not heard anything about a supplementary election, even though INEC earlier on declared the result inconclusive. But as we stand right now, we have not, there is no date has been fixed for this election, for the supplementary election. So we will still be waiting for INEC as they announced the earlier date that will be, that election will be conducted again in those 69 polling units that have been cancelled. So, but as it stands, you know, the margin in this polling, there have been, a bit of allegations, most of from from other political parties saying where these elections are cancelled are not based on violence or anything, but because of the number of because of the materials. Some have complained that the materials have not arrived, and There is even a particular polling unit that I was being told that because the materials were not complete, so voters refused to vote in that particular polling unit.
Any further reactions from other political parties in the state concerning this matter, Aaron?
Well, some political parties have shown concern. They have raised their concern over this, that INEC declared it inconclusive, and most of which they said those are the delays that have, because of the delays that have happened. And we have also witnessed that the APC agent did not sign at the the collation sheet that was collected from all the 21 local government. We have other people saying this is unfair and all manner of things, but I think right now everybody is calm and we are waiting for more updates from INEC.
Thank you very much, Aaron Atiel, correspondent joining us from Yola on updates from Adamawa State. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission has announced the winner of the Bauchi State governorship election at the INEC State headquarters after receiving all the 20 local government results. Governor Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed of the People's Democratic Party emerged the winner of the election after defeating 14 other candidates. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has that report.
The governorship election in Bauchi State, Professor Sabo Abdul Karim, after collation and compilation of results, says the incumbent Governor Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed has won the election.
PDP, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
He also responded on the legality of the results after several cancellations in many wards across different local government areas.
In fact, I will tell you that in Bauchi State we have much lower number of cancellations than many other states. So cancellation has happened because of irregularities, maybe it's either violence or voting. And it's within the law for the cancellations to be made. But it's not many actually for the state. You can go and look at the records. You compare it to even other states, we have very few cancellations in my opinion. Thank you.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, who gives power at the time he wishes and to the person he wishes. And we thank the people of Bauchi State for coming out en masse to renew this mandate given to Senator Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed, the executive governor of Bauchi State. He has another 4 years to continue with the work he has been doing in Bauchi across the 20 local governments.
However, APC and NNPP agents kick against the results and refused to sign the collation sheet, claiming irregularities during the process.
It is a book result. I have made several alerts before all the news agents here. So you are living with me when I made a lot of remarks.
Meanwhile, the streets of Bauchi were filled with supporters, jubilating and happy with the process, hoping that this year will bring the much-needed development in the state. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And from Bauchi, we go to Kaduna, where collation of results from 23 local government areas of Kaduna State have been concluded at the INEC Collation Center in the state. We're now joined by Trust TV reporter Bello Musa, who has an update. Bello?
Hello, how are you?
Hello, thank you very much for joining us.
And the collation is ongoing. You're welcome. The collation commenced at about 2 p.m. this afternoon. Okay. And so far,
can you hear
11 local government results. I can hear you very loud.
Very good, Bello. Thank you so very much for joining us. Talk to us about what is delaying the declaration of a winner in the governorship election in Kaduna State.
Got won in 8 local government out of the 11, while the winning APC won 3 local government. And Kaduna has 23 local government, with the 11 local government declared so far. There are 4 local government now declared maybe today or in the morning. The collation is about to.
I see. If it's possible for you
now.
to tone down
because,
any invading noise that is with you there. We can hear some interruptions. Tell us the mood of the town as we learn security agencies are patrolling major streets to avoid possible breakdown of law and order. Tell us the mood of the city.
Yes, as I said earlier, we have 11 local governments here so far.
Thank you, Bello, for that interesting report. But you see, Kaduna is one of the areas where a lot of people would
results announced.
Thank you so very much. It's good to hear from you. We'll keep our eye on the ball and we'll return to you for further updates. The Independent National Electoral Commission in Kano has declared Abba Kabir Yusuf of the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP as the winner of Saturday's governorship election. The state returning officer Ahmed Duku declared that Abba scored a total of 1,019,602 votes to defeat his counterpart of APC, Nasiru Gauna, who scored 892,705 votes. Correspondent Idris Jibrin has more on that story.
After an all-day and night-long collation of results across all the 44 local government areas of Kano State, the moment Kano people have been waiting arrived, the declaration.
The election was contested. The candidates received the following votes. Ibrahim Sha'aban Sharada of ADP scored 9,402 votes. Number 5, Gauna Nasiru Yusuf of APC scored 890,705 votes. Bashir Ishaq Bashir of LP scored 5,409 votes. Number 11, Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP scored 1,019,602 votes. That Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Dated this day, 20th March 2023.
For the representatives of the New Nigeria People's Party, the process has been transparent enough and that INEC has proven to be a reliable electoral body.
We thank the good people of Kano State. We thank the law enforcement agencies, especially the police and the Nigerian Armed Forces. We thank the INEC. We thank all our supporters. We thank the youth and women, and we are optimistic that God in His wisdom will continue to guide our candidate, will continue to guide our governor-elect, His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf.
Although Kano State government has since imposed dusk to dawn curfew to prevent violent clash, but party supporters are seen celebrating their success across many parts of Kano metropolis. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Dikko Umar Rada of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has been declared winner of last Saturday's governorship election in Katsina State. The INEC chief returning officer in Katsina, Professor Muazu Abubakar Gusau, in his declaration said Dikko Rada, having scored the highest number of votes in Saturday's election, is declared winner. Abdullahi Yamadi was at the Katsina INEC Collation Center and now reports.
Umaru Dikko Rada of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected.
The winner of the governorship election, Dikko Umar Rada, scored 859,892 votes to defeat his closest rival, Senator Yakubu Lado Dambarki of the PDP, who scored 486,620 votes. The All Progressives Congress APC took 32 state assembly seats, leaving PDP with only one, while the result of state assembly seat for Kankia local government was declared inconclusive. Beyond that, The results of 88 polling units were cancelled across the 34 local government areas of the state, largely due to violence, insecurity, and overvoting.
The number of registered voters in Katsina gubernatorial election stands as 3516719. Number of accredited voters 1399291.
Some party agents at the collation center commended INEC for a successful process in the state.
I felt highly delighted today to have won the elections for gubernatorial elections under this assignment I was given. We were able to deliver, and Katsina State is now in the hands of APC back again. And Duke Korada is the governor of Katsina State, governor-elect, inshallah.
Well, naturally, if you look for something and could not get it, you will feel bad. But then, when you remember that it is God who gives power to he who he desires, you comport yourself and said, well, I have done my best. I looked for it from God, and God has decided that it is not my turn. So all we need to do now is to congratulate the winner and wish him well. PRP is the party of the future.
So we thank Almighty Allah has given us the privilege to start this exercise and finish it successfully. Why? Because that we do the election without killing, no violence, no anything. And we thank Almighty Allah has given us this day, and we take the accept of the defeat. That is a good Muslim to take any accept of any defeat.
Many Katsina residents are hopeful that the election of Duke Korada as the new governor will open a new page, urging those who lost to consider Katsina first and rally around the incoming administration for accelerated development. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, who lost out at last Saturday's elections in Katsina State, have rejected the outcome and vowed to challenge it in court. PDP, in a press briefing on Monday, said the process that culminated into declaring the APC's Duke Korada as governor-elect is marred by irregularities. Again, Abdullahi Yamadi completes that report.
The PDP officials wearing gloomy faces described the election results as unfair and fabricated, where they called residents to disregard it in its totality. The last Saturday's elections are mere fabrications and a disaster to Nigeria's democracy because security personnel and INEC officials all compromised. To the candidates and PDP as a party, we reject the results and we will approach court to seek redress. We humbly call on President Muhammadu Buhari not to forget his promises of free, fair and credible elections to Nigerians. However, the Katsina State Governor-elect Dikko Umar Radda, while presenting his acceptance speech shortly after his declaration as the winner of the election, extends hands of friendship and goodwill to all those who lost out in the process.
We will boost the economy, educate our children, help the vulnerable, and provide high level of public service. Visionary leadership entails very concise, attainable goals. And I believe I can lead a government that can deliver for the people of Katsina State.
He also thanked the good people of Katsina State for giving him the mandate, promising that his administration will not let them down.
I want to seize this opportunity to accept the mandate given to me by the people of Katsina State. And inshallah, I'm not going to fail you. Together, we are going to make Katsina State great. We thank the people and the government of Katsina State.
Reacting on the outcome of the election, some Katsina residents advised the governor-elect Dikko Radda to carry everybody along and come up with an all-inclusive government.
Political right has been displayed. So we thank INEC and the security personnel and the institution for awareness like UNOA and the political parties.
So far so good. Dikko Radda is one of the candidates so far who led with the example, voted with the wise votes, a vote for the eloquent and vote for the entire generality who are somehow educated. The masses who always vote for the credibility.
What the incoming administration will look like will naturally show itself in the coming month. Abdullahi Ismail Yamadi, Crossed Television News, Katsina.
More results have been announced across states following the conclusion of the governorship and Houses of Assembly elections held on Saturday, March 18th. INEC also declared some state elections inconclusive due to irregularities. Here's that report.
In Kebbi State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the governorship election inconclusive. INEC's returning officer, Yusuf Saidu, made a declaration on Monday in Birni Kebbi, the state capital. Saidu said the move became necessary due to breaches of electoral law that led to cancellation of results in polling units in 20 of the 21 local government areas. He said irregularities such as destruction of election materials, disruption of electoral proceedings, and overvoting marred the poll. Before declaring the election inconclusive, APC was leading with 388,258 votes as against PDP's 342,980 votes. In Niger State, the All Progressive Congress APC candidate Umar Mohamed Bago has been declared winner of the governorship election in the state. Announcing the result at the INEC headquarters, the state coalition officer Clement Alawa said Bago polled 469,896 votes to defeat his closest opponent Issa Liman Katigi of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 389,476 votes. Bago won in 20 out of the 25 local government areas of the state, while the candidate of the PDP won in 5 local government areas of Mokwa, Munya, Edati, Lavu, and Bako. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Ahmed Aliyu, as the winner of the governorship election in Sokoto State. Aliyu polled a total of 453,661 votes to defeat the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Saidu Ubandoma, who scored 404,632 votes. Ali won the election with 49,029 votes, having won in 18 out of the 23 local government areas of the state. The PDP candidate won in 5 local government areas. The returning officer, Amayawu Hamisu, said a total of 879,776 votes were cast, out of which 15,357 votes were rejected. He gave the total valid vote at 864,419.
The electoral and returning officers for the Zamfara state governorship election in Maradun local government area of the state, who were on Monday kidnapped by unknown persons, have been released. The local government area is the hometown of Governor Bello Muhammad Matawali. The officials were coming to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Gusau to deliver results of the governorship election for Maradun local government when they were intercepted and taken to an undisclosed location. The public relations officer of the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state said the released officials have since left for Gusau to deliver the results. Mohammed Salihu Ahmed is a public affairs commentator, and he joins us now in the studio to share perspectives and political developments. We thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So you hear of the abduction of coalition officers in Zamfara state. Does this suggest desperation to win elections, or is this an inherent manifestation of the insecurity in the state?
I will attribute that partly to the insecurity, but however, there is that issue of desperation. Some politicians wanted to make it anyhow to win the election, or rather to rig the election in their own way. That desperation causes them to, initially they used to steal the ballot boxes, but now with the advent of the BBAS and the electronic registration of voters and whatnot, the very best way for them is to maybe truncate the election so that they can manipulate the contents of the ballot box so that the boxes can be disqualified. Yes, what is on the Electoral Act. And on the Electoral Act, if there is any additional votes over and above what has been recorded on the BBAS, the Act enshrines that that whole polling station should be disqualified. So it's a way that some of these people do, so that if they feel that they're not winning in that area, somebody is having an ace over them, they can use that to disqualify the box.
Now, talking about the issues that have taken place in Adamawa and Kebbi, the elections were declared inconclusive, and of course in Kano and Plateau there have been upsets, and then of course there is the issue of the incumbent in Bauchi State winning his re-election against all odds. What do you make of all of these?
Reality is that the voters are beginning to realize their worth. That is certain. That realization is making them to stick to their own ideology, to both people, irrespective of who is contesting. There are so many offsets in this election of 2023, right from the presidential election to the National Assembly and the states. People who have been there for so long have lost their
deposits.
Yeah, they have lost they contested and they lost. Why? Because there are governors who are there, they are there as governors in states for over 8 years, they become senators, they lost elections. How do they do that? It's because people have realized their worth. The voters have realized their worth. If you are not doing well, you are not responsive to the voters, and you are not satisfying their worth, the very best they can do is to use their ballot paper and cast their vote and vote against you. However, in states like Adamawa, the delay they are having in announcing the results is complicating issues. With the advent of technology now, it's so easy. You can transform results, you can transmit results from voting stations to the collation centers within no time. Unlike in those days whereby you have to carry the ballot boxes, the ballot papers and whatever in cars on roads that are not very good, and you have delays in arriving at the collation centers. But today, with the BBAS, it's assumed that you can use the BBAS, snap the result, send it over cyber to the collation centers. However, this is not done. For whatever reason, I believe it's people wanted to manipulate the results, that's why they're delaying that.
Well, I would like to ask you a final question, and if you would just keep it to one sentence or two, what does this portend for democracy? Our democracy is growing. We are growing stronger. I like to believe that from the first election that transformed from maybe the Second Republic in 1978, 1983 to 1999, you can see there are little developments. Things are coming off with the elections. Voters are realizing their worth. And even the contestants now are beginning to realize that it's not the financial inducement they give to the voters that will make them win election. People are realizing you have to be worth yourself before they can be able to vote you. Mohammed Saliu Mohammed, public affairs commentator. Mohammed Saliu Ahmed, we want to thank you for coming to join us in this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we continue now. The People's Democratic Party has rejected the outcome of the Nasarawa State governorship election conducted by Independent National Electoral Commission and won by the incumbent Governor Abdullahi Sule. The party's state coalition agent Ayiwulu Baba Ayiwulu made this known in Lafia after INEC declared Governor Sule as the winner of the election in the state. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report and is here presented from our studio.
Shortly after the announcement by the Independent National Electoral Commission declaring the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule as the elected governor for the second term, the opposition party expressed displeasure over the outcome. The party's state coalition agent Ayiwulu Baba Ayiwulu said the result was not the reflection of what voters did at the polling units.
Not at all. If I'm satisfied with the result, I should have been the first person to go and sign. I'm not satisfied with the result, neither my party or the candidate who is the supposed winner of this election. So we are not satisfied. And to that extent, we are protesting against the result. And that is why I couldn't sign the result.
The ruling party, on its part, described the process as transparent and commended the electoral umpire for a job well done.
My recommendation for INEC begins from transparency, learning from the experience of what had taken place from the presidential elections to today. It's not only INEC that should be commended for this exercise. The security agencies have also done their bit to complement the success of this election.
Meanwhile, Governor Sule thanked the people of the state for their support and promised to carry everyone along.
We thank God Almighty that it has come and gone peacefully. All the stories about what will bring, the kind of problem that will happen, the type of insecurity that will be, I was very much more concerned about those ones than the election proper. The reason is because I do not want my ambition to cause any kind of fatality or the life of any citizen of Nasarawa State.
Governor Sule won the election with 347,209 votes, while his close rival, David Mbungadu of the PDP, got 283,060. And the NNPP candidate Abdullahi Maidoya scored 11,000 votes.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the candidate of the People's Democratic. I'd like to go straight away to Benue State, rather, which is that the Independent National Electoral Commission on Monday declared Hyacinth Alia as winner of the Benue State governorship election. Jimmy Azande has monitored the situation for us in Benue State and now reports.
Announcing the result, the State Returning Officer, Professor Farouk Kuta, said APC candidate Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia of the All Progressives Congress polled a total of 473,933 votes to defeat Titus Obak, candidate of the PDP, who polled 223,913 votes, and Right Honorable Herman Hembe of Labour Party, who polled 42,882 votes.
Party APC, 473,933 votes. PDP, 223,913 votes. Party LP, 41,881 votes. Hyacinth Alia of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
I would like to congratulate my opponents from the other parties for making it an interesting contest. The anxious period of politicking is over. Now is the time to unite and face the challenges of development. Our state, Benue, needs a total reset.
A cross-section of Benue residents described the process as credible and peaceful.
The election has shown clearly that Nigerians are democratically growing because they'll be able to express their franchise in different perspectives. The normal mindset of viewers or people was that it will follow one pattern, but this time around it has given surprises, and I think that is good for democracy. It is giving us a very competitive platform for the leadership of this country.
The residents want the winner to act with decorum and show magnanimity and sportsmanship after his victory.
The seat is not just for themselves, it's for the entire people, even those who contested against them. Because now when you win an election, you are no longer representing your political party alone. You cannot say, you go outside and you say, you are the governorship candidate, you are the governor of APC, PDP, Labour, ABGA, NPP, SDP. No, you say you are the people, you are the governor of Benue State, and any other state for that matter. So whatever may have been the differences during the campaigns and all that, you should now know that they have a responsibility to take everybody along in Benue State and treat him as his own.
The election has been rescheduled to hold in Kwandi local government area on Tuesday, the 21st March, where it could not hold due to logistic mishap. This, however, does not affect the outcome of the result because of the wide margin between the winner and the second runner-up.
And from Benue, we go now to Plateau, where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Caleb Mutfwang, as the winner of the Plateau State governorship election. The state coalition officer, Idris Amale, announced that Mutfwang polled 525,299 to defeat his closest rival, Nentowe Yilwada of the APC, who polled 481,370. Ado Musa completes that report.
The PDP candidate, Caleb Mutfwang, won in 10 out of the 17 local government areas of the state, while Nentowe Yilwada won in the remaining 7 local government areas. Declaring the result of the exercise, the coalition officer said Mutfwang scored the highest vote cast in the exercise.
The requirements of the law is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
I think it's a sweet victory for the entire Plateau. I will give this victory to the people of Plateau, dedicated to them, and INEC have done a wonderful job. I think despite all the pressure, they stood to defend what democracy meant. I think it's a celebration galore.
8 wasted years. It's good that the PDP is back on the Plateau. The PDP has been tried and trusted. They have been tried and they have been trusted before on the Plateau. His Excellency Jonah David Jang delivered on the Plateau. And I believe that Barrister Caleb Mutfwang is going to continue, is going to build.
Well, the coalition officer of the state has done what he wants, which is against the wish of the people, because they are denied a particular word, their right to vote.
In everything that has a beginning must have an end. And this election, as it was stated to be held on 18th of this month, it was held successfully, and today the winner is announced. I know definitely there are aggrieved individuals or parties who at the end of the day would like to go and seek for redress before the tribunal, and whether they satisfy or not, they know where to go next.
Soon after the declaration of the winner of the election, supporters of the PDP went to the streets of Jos to celebrate the emergence of their candidate as the new governor of the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Taraba State Police Command has confirmed the exchange of gunshots between personnel of the Nigerian Army and the police force in Jalingo in the early hours of Monday. The incident took place close to the venue of the Coalition Center for the governorship elections in the state. In a joint media briefing by the heads of 6th Brigade, Nigerian Army Jalingo, and the Taraba State Police Command, the Commissioner of Police, Yusuf Amodu, noted that it was a minor disagreement that led to the escalation of the incident, which resulted to the killing of 1 police officer and the injury of 3 others. He, however, called on the residents of Jalingo and beyond to go about their normal activities, as the 2 organizations have set up an investigative committee to look into the major causes of the incident.
The Commander, 6th Brigade of General Army, and the Commissioner of Police of Taraba State Command regret the unfortunate incidents that occurred this morning, 20th March 2023, which led to clash between the military the personnel of both organizations in Jalingo. It was a minor disagreement that led to the escalation of the incident. This incident is a dent in the synergy and mutual trust both the Army and the police in Taraba State have enjoyed. While assuring the citizens of Taraba State to go about their daily activities, the High Command of both organizations have set up a joint investigation team to look into the root cause of the matter, with a view to ensuring that erring personnel are brought to book. All efforts are in place to support the ongoing electoral process and to see to successful completion.
Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Oni, says 2 soldiers were seriously wounded during the unfortunate incident. Meanwhile, collation of governorship election results at INEC headquarters in Jalingo, which was suspended as a result of the clash between soldiers and the police, resumed today at about 4:30 in the afternoon. The incumbent governor of Borno State, Umar Zulum, has been declared winner of the 2023 governorship election in the state. INEC's Borno State Returning Officer, Jude Rabo, made the declaration at the end of collation of results from the 27 local government areas of the state. Bitrus Kuruti has more.
The collation of the governorship and state assembly elections results was concluded when the remaining 5 local government councils of Shani, Marte, Hawul, Biu, and Maiduguri Metropolis results were announced. At the end, Governor Zulum, who was the APC candidate, polled 545,542, while the PDP scored 82,147 votes. INEC's returning officer, Professor Jude Rabo, thereafter declared incumbent Governor Zulum winner of the 2023 governorship elections.
4. That Umar Babagana of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is in turn elected. Dated this 20th day of March 2023. Thank you very much for listening.
For many observers, the election is a referendum on the first term of Governor Zulum, whom many believe has done well, hence his re-election. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
In another development, the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate of Lagos State, Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran, has condemned the just concluded governorship elections, describing it as fraudulent and non-reflective of the wishes of the people. Adediran disclosed this at a press conference on Monday in Lagos. Here's that report.
Following the announcement of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the winner of the 2023 governorship election in Lagos, the PDP is alleging that the election was not free, fair, and credible. The party's candidate, Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, who made the party's position known, say he is not satisfied with the election in the state. While addressing the media at a press briefing, the PDP candidate said the PDP will contest the outcome of the election within the ambit of the law, because the party believed the process that brought about Sanwo-Olu's re-election was marred with voter intimidation, suppression, alteration, and manipulation of result sheets, violence which led to the death of many while others sustained varying degrees of injuries. He stated that on the election day, they observed that some of the BVAS machines brought to the polling unit had accredited numbers of voters already on it.
Where you have, and what we have to do is for them to clear first, the one we can clear, which shows that a lot is happening. So figures were allocated at the end of the day. I'm sure everybody knows about, Jandor's brand and PDP of 2023, the amount of work we've put in place and everywhere we've been to. Imagine them recording 3,000 for me in my local government. While in my own polling unit, and the 2 polling units will put over 200 votes. And that is one out of almost 600 polling units.
The PDP governorship candidate in Lagos State further extended his condolences to the family of those who lost their lives in the process of trying to exercise their franchise.
When this election is not being on the ballots. So we're on the ballots. It shows that the next process is also going to put us into consideration. We have not seen the last of it. But yet, yes, a supposed winner has been declared. But like I said, it's a process, it's not an event. So we see this to the end before we then begin to say what decision are we taking as a party.
Adediran, while appreciating Lagosians for standing by him, pledged to ensure that he fights for fairness and equity in the state.
After suffering election defeat, the senator representing Enugu East, Chimaroke Nnamani, has formally withdrawn his membership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Labour Party's Kevin Chukwu clinched the seat after having polled 69,136 votes to defeat Nnamani, who scored 48,701 votes. The election was held last Saturday following the murder of former LP standard bearer Oyibo Chukwu 3 days before the initial February 25th date. Nnamani, in a statement on Monday, said after consultations with his associates and constituents alike, he had decided to quit the PDP on account of irreconcilable differences with the national leadership of the party. Renowned election analysts working with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, have expressed concerns on electoral gains and emerging threat to Nigeria's democratic consolidation. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the election analysis think tank also harped on increased citizens' vigilance and decisive action against masterminds of electoral violence, fraud and impunity for a sustained democratic experience. Here's that report.
While acknowledging the impact of technology application for the conduct of the 2023 elections and improve voter awareness and resilience, the CDD election analysts are worried over increased electoral violence, manipulations, amongst others.
It was most apparent in Zamfara, where bandits and vigilante groups were reported to have threatened voters with death if they voted for the incumbent. We also saw similar incidents of voter intimidation across all the geopolitical zones, but these were also mostly pronounced in the southeast, where something like 10% of the polling units we observed saw some element of voter intimidation compared to 4.7% nationwide.
Vote buying was higher in the southeast of Nigeria. At the same time, intimidation was more observed in the southeast and the south-south part of the country itself. And the most impacted by low deployment of security personnel again was in the southeastern part of the country.
They believe that enhanced citizens' vigilance and resilience, in addition to consolidation on technology application in the electoral process, will pave way for a more transparent and acceptable outcome.
We are still grappling for the vote counts, but for some places, for their resilience and determination to protect their votes, they were able to succeed. For example, in Kano, there was so much effort to undermine the voters' votes in Kano, but I think for the resilience of the people, they were able to insist that their votes must not be truncated.
One of the important issues about this election is more and more parties are winning seats, are gaining votes, and that therefore we are developing a more genuine multi-party electoral system. I think this is a significant gain.
The analysts also call for decisive action against electoral offenders to address rising cases of impunity, suppression and subversion of public will. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up, we take a look at why ATM queues are not dispersing. Do stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Upsets in states as INEC declares winners of governorship elections. And Kano residents defy curfew imposed on state to celebrate NNPP electoral victory. Moving to other stories now, scarcity of the naira, which many believed will curb money laundering and vote buying as well as sustain digital economy, is still biting in Abuja, the nation's capital. Now that the elections have come and gone, people are optimistic that the currency may be readily available to Nigerians, though at the moment the status remains. Noel Samson went around the Federal Capital Territory to see if the situation has changed. Here's his report.
With the reintroduction of the old currency back into the society and the conclusion of the 2023 general elections, many Nigerians are hopeful that the naira scarcity will be a thing of the past. However, 2 days after the governorship and state assembly election, people still find it difficult to access the high-end monies kept in the bank.
I came here since about 8 a.m. wanting to have some money. So at the point, they now told us that there's no money. So I now said, okay, we have wasted so much hours up to this point. You couldn't give me any money. And out of vexation, I want to leave. And then the banker is telling me I should have a nice day. I said, how can I have a nice day when I spent so much hours in your bank? You didn't give me any money.
Funny, there is no improvement at all. If I'm going home now, I don't even have a cash. And the bank, I don't know whether they fault it from the bank or from the central bank, but the truth is that they should just do something. They promised that after the election, everybody had this mindset that it's the election that is holding up the money. But now election is over. So let them make us enjoy being a citizen of this country.
I was supposed to take a normal drop from my house to this place. I had to take a boat because I don't have cash. So it's not reduced in any way.
Scarcity is still in vogue. I feel like it's even worse because now there's actually the banks are not even paying. I'm just coming from the bank.
Actually, we cannot say it has stopped because we're still facing the same thing we're facing before the elections. Like imagine having like 30K in your account and before you can have access to 10K. The debit you even have is very heartbreaking. So the government should kindly just come to the aid of Nigerians.
Some automated teller machines are still not dispersing cash, prompting people to appeal to authorities concerned to come to their aid, as many small businesses are struggling to stay afloat. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria's Monetary Policy Committee on Monday held its 290th policy meeting at its headquarters in Abuja to analyze Nigeria's economic situation and make decisions accordingly. While the nation awaits the decision of the MPC, our business correspondent Chamun Dabeng speaks to policy analyst Chibuzo Okereke on what the possible outcome may be. Here's her report.
CBN's NPC meets every 2 months to decide whether to tighten, loose or take a hold stance on its policy implementation. In the January meeting, the NPC made the difficult decision to hike the NPR by 150 basis points, increasing the NPR to 18%. It can be recalled that the NPC increased the NPR for the first time in 2 years in May of 2022. Since then, there have been 5 consecutive hikes in the NPR. Putting into consideration Nigeria's array of economic challenges, could the possibility of a 6th hike be underway?
Well, I think that the outcome will be for the board, the CBN board, to retain the various rates. I don't think because we just finished an election, and the incoming government will be studying and reviewing the economy. It's not time to make significant changes that can impact on the economy. Because as you know, inflation has continued to rise, and with this Naira redesign and cashless policy, there are issues already in the economy, which is affecting liquidity.
In the past, the Monetary Policy Committee has cited inflationary pressures as part of the reasons for the consecutive hikes. However, their attempts to tame inflation is yet to be felt by the populace, as Nigeria's inflation rate has increased from 21.82% in January to 21.91% in February. Okereke did come to the defense of the CBN, stating that monetary policies are not magic.
Well, you know, why the issue of MPC has not been able to arrest inflation is because inflation is a mixed basket. There are a lot of things that contribute to inflation. Why the interest rate increase can tackle money inflation. There are also other, food inflation. There are other forms of inflation that insecurity is contributing to, low productivity is contributing. So what we should focus on now is to tackle other forms of inflation, whether it's demand, from demand side, supply side, food inflation, and many other things. That really cannot happen with only monetary policy. And that is very key, because you have to look at fiscal policy, you have to also look at the business environment of the country and the role every stakeholder needs to play. Yeah.
The hikes in the NPR continued despite warnings from international financial bodies. However, the CBN has stood by its decision, believing it is the best for the country. Chamun Dabing, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Reports just reaching us says INEC has declared APC candidate Uba Sani winner of Kaduna State governorship election. We'll bring you more details on that in our subsequent bulletins. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, under the leadership of its President General and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has urged the Muslims across the country to look out for this year's Ramadan after sunset on Wednesday. The Director of Administration of the Council, Zubairu Haruna Usman Ugu, said this on Monday in a statement in Abuja. He also urged Muslims to reach out to members of the National Moon Sighting Committee, NMSC, to report any credible and positive sighting of the crescent of Ramadan 1444 Al-Hijrah. The Council enjoined all Muslims to be more prayerful, especially in the month of Ramadan, to enable Allah grant the nation peace, stability, unity, and progress. And to foreign news now, South African security forces say 87 people have been arrested in the last 12 hours across the country over public violence before planned protests by the left-wing Economic Freedom Fighters EFF party. The EFF, the third largest party in the country, has called for a national shutdown to protest crippling power cuts and demand the resignation of President Cyril Ramaphosa. EFF leader Julius Malema said ports, parliament, border crossings, and the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, among others, will be targeted as key protesting points. Authorities said there would be a heavy police presence to deal with any possible violence. Parliament said in a statement on Sunday that the South African military will deploy 3,474 soldiers for a month until April 17th to prevent and combat crime in cooperation with the police. And with that story from South Africa, we bring to a close News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Don't forget to follow us across all our media platforms. Thank you for staying with us. I am Eugenia Abu on behalf of the team. Good night.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.